I stand before you today in what has become a heart of darkness. This great, beautiful rotunda that we find ourselves in here today, this is supposed to be the people's house, but it has been corrupted. The folks currently in charge of the policy that comes out of this place have done their darnest to turn the state of Minnesota into a den of depravity. And they've done it utilizing the same methodology that has always been used since the beginning of time to undermine the good, the righteous, and the true. And that's by undermining the concept of truth itself. You don't know what's true. We don't know what's true. You can just declare that a lie must be affirmed. And then through the force of law, coerce your fellow man to join you in that lie. Well, we have another declaration to make today. And it's an echo of the declaration that sparked the formation of this country. You go back and you look at the Declaration of Independence, perhaps the most important clause in that document is we hold these truths to be self-evident. Now, we tend to focus on the words that come after, on the truths, and we should, but we've reached a point in this country, and certainly in this state, where we now have to focus in on, is there such a thing as truth? Is there such a thing as self-evident? Because if you undermine that concept, if you undermine the basic fundamental notion that certain things are true and other things are false, certain things are right and other things are wrong, and certain truths are so prominently true that we can say that they're self-evident, meaning they don't require further explanation, they simply are. If we're going to undermine that, and we successfully allow it to be undermined, then we find ourselves in a situation where, listen, we have no basis to argue anything at all. If truth doesn't exist, if there aren't certain truths which are self-evident, then what do you defer to when you argue for your rights, whatever you think those are? We've got forces in this world who are arguing that our rights are a story that we tell ourselves, that it's all imaginary. And that lie, that undermining of the truth, paves the way for tyranny. And that's what we're here to fight against today. We are again making a declaration. And what our declaration says is it reaffirms that there are certain fundamental truths which shall be upheld. What we're saying today is this is the why for the what that will follow. Similar to the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence was the why. Here's why we're doing what we're doing. And then the Constitution came behind it saying, here's what we're doing, referring back to the why. In similar fashion, this declaration declares the why for why we are going to form a coalition of states, and we call it the Cornerstone Standard Coalition of States. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, Mike, but I'll tell you why those are the proper words. What is a cornerstone? Cornerstone is the foundation, the fundamental block that holds it all together. It's the Jenga block in the Jenga tower that if you pull it, the whole thing collapses. When we talk about a standard, a cornerstone standard, we're talking about the standard that is the cornerstone that upholds our entire American jurisprudence. Again, truth. What is true? What is self-evident? And what is inviolable? What shall not be violated? So we're going to create a coalition of states that are committed to that cornerstone standard, the truth. That's our why. And then the what that follows is going to be punishing people who violate that standard, especially as it relates to the harming of children, the destroying of children. Because these are the links that you have to go to justify that. In order to justify chopping children apart, in order to justify poisoning them, in order to justify pausing their natural development, you have to undermine truth as such. You have to violate the concept of self-evident truth, because there's no other basis upon which you could possibly do it. Anybody who has eyes to see, anybody who has a brain to think, can tell you without hesitation that that's wrong. It should not happen. It violates fundamental truths. And yet we're doing it anyway. And the basis for doing it is undermining this standard.